DEI, abortion, immigration.
Yes, we are on the
right?
Pittman Amendment.
The amendment. That's what Councilmember Pittman's. And has that been moved and seconded? Okay. Look, this is really stupid stuff. It has nothing to do with funding city services, funding police and fire. It's a distraction to the very purposes of a budget. It's culture war stuff. It's trying to make a statement to those out there that love to hate this stuff or love to love this stuff. This is a wedge. Budget should bring together the whole city because we're trying to take care of the whole city with services that are funded by their tax dollars. Abortion, DEI, all of that business is a distraction. Cut it out of this. This is unprecedented BS. It's mean-spirited. It doesn't belong in this budget. Good for the council member who's going to go tweet it all out tonight, what a brave conservative patriot he is, but it's baloney. And what I saw him tweet tonight or sometime about a former mayor's son is just the absolute, it's vile. Have you no damn shame? Excuse my French, Mr. President.
Thanks for correcting yourself.
Awful. Come on, let's grow up. Let's stick to budget services for the people of this city and quit getting into this nonsense. Please. Drainage, infrastructure, the stadium, the things that you're working hard, Mr. President, to leave a legacy for your council presidency. And this isn't what you want on your resume, sir, and nobody else does, except for maybe one or two. It's the kind of thing that gets my heart pounding because I know it's not good for the people of this city. And I have worked long and hard to make sure those without a voice have one. And there's a lot of people without a voice that feel the same way I do. And there's a lot of those in this city that are underdogs that need somebody to stick up for them. And that's exactly what I'm doing. My apologies for my vocabulary, but I got to tell you, sometimes you got to give it to them good and dirty so they won't forget it.
All right, thanks, sir. Next, we have Councilmember Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will stand up and condemn a convicted felon who had child porn on his school computer all day long. I have no problem condemning that. That's what happened. Point of order. You want to silence me? Silence me? That's what happened. A former mayor had a son to do that, and in my opinion...
Order, Mr. President, this has
Carlucci,
nothing to do with the bill. He's talking about a former mayor who is not here to defend himself.
Sit down. You just said the same thing about him. You just attacked him. Let him get his back.
I was talking about his amendment. He's talking about somebody's son who is not here to defend himself because he has passed away.
Down.
I have no apologies.
I'm back on the clock.
No apologies for condemning people who practice the collection of child porn. And I'm totally fine with it. Having prosecuted that myself, it's disgusting, and it hurts children, and I'll stand for it every day. I'll also stand for all three of my amendments. It literally says we are not going to be racist. We're not going to spend money on treating people different based on their race, their gender, or who they go home to. That's what it says. It says we will not be racist. Instead, I get called racist. I didn't throw out any names. I didn't hear any substantive arguments against this. Give me one good reason why we should spend $1 because we like one race or one gender more than another. I don't think we should. And I guarantee you ask the people of Jacksonville if they support that. They do not. By huge majorities. Huge majorities here, whether they're pro-life or pro-choice, do not want to use taxpayer money for abortion or abortion services. We had a city councilman here who wanted to use our money to pay for travel so our employees could go get abortions out of state. So As a conscientious conservative and a pro-life city councilman, I want it in our budget as a matter of law that you can't use my money for something I consider murder. I am totally fine with that. I'll stand for it all day long. If you don't like it, if it makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but that's what principle looks like. Sometimes it makes you uncomfortable. And finally, on undocumented illegal aliens getting our city money, that bill has been riddled with so many exceptions. Even so, I promise you, the people of Jacksonville support it. All three of these. Put them on the ballot if you don't believe me. Ask the people. They will tell you. They don't want to spend their money on racist policies. They don't want to spend their money on abortion. And they don't want to spend their money on illegal aliens. And I stand by this all day long.
All right, Councilmember Peluso.
Thank you, Mr. President. There were racist policies in this city. Very recently, we celebrated the 65th anniversary of Axe Handle Saturday. A lot of the work that the councils since Jim Crow and what this council should be working on is to repair some of that damage that was done. We passed a bill condemning redlining. The first time the city council's ever done that. We did that 2 years ago. And to put language like this in our budget, the greatest policy document that we could possibly push through that shows our priorities of a city, we are potentially harming, I think, the East Side. We're potentially harming great nonprofits like Feeding Northeast Florida or Here Tomorrow, which is supposed to prevent suicide, just so that they could ask people or say, oh, we just need to make sure you knowingly an unauthorized alien. I told you about somebody who literally was affected by bad policy in my district, and now a business is going to close down. People are being harmed by these actions. And what Councilmember Pittman and what former Council President Carlucci are advocating for is for us to pass a good budget that has very common sense language. Let's remove this language. It's clearly very hostile. We're feeling it in this room tonight. Vote up this amendment. We can move forward with the substitute and vote this bill through. And to finally, I'll stop speaking after this. Tommy Hazouri was a great man. He was a great man who graced these halls and this building and stood on a lot of amazing principles. That was a principled individual. Let's not besmirch his legacy by bringing his name up in a negative way, especially since he's passed away. Thank you.
Next, we have Councilmember Clark Murray.
Thank you, President Carrico. Wow is what I have to say to what I heard earlier, because I hope that what he stated wasn't the impetus for him adding this particular language to this bill, because it is so irrelevant. Whether you are African American, Caucasian, Hispanic, we all bleed the same. We all have the same kind of hunger pains. Our skin needs to be clothed, and we need somewhere to live. So I don't understand why this is in this bill. I will also say that I learned a long time ago, and we've had several church and religious references tonight, so that's what keeps popping in my head. I learned in church that, in many cases, a person hates or disdains what he or she sees in himself and someone else. So I'm thinking that maybe there's some self-hatred there, because if I'm not mistaken, and someone can correct me, DEI includes LGBTQ, right? That's what we're talking about as well. So that includes what the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. So I'm very curious why a particular council representative keeps harping on this. Why? Are you hating what's in yourself? Are you hating what is in yourself? Yes, it's necessary to go there. And then I really tried a long time ago,
when I had my teacher bill, not to mention what it is that I've read, because I like reading. I love reading. So allegedly, a council member has taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from a nonprofit, Canines for Warriors. So it's like the pot calling the kettle black. And I read it in folio, and it can be read online. So once again, are you discussing what you hate in yourself? Because this is where we have gone. And this is not where we should be. We are talking about a budget, and we are talking about helping people through the services, what our government should do, and help to govern this city, not about personal dislikes, personal pet peeves, personal hatreds. That is not what we're doing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Before I go to the next speaker, we have taken it a little too far with the personal back and forth. I think a warning is in order, or a message from your president. Let's try to stay on the content of the bill. Everyone's emotional, I get it, but let's stick forward with what we're discussing as far as the legislative matter that we're voting on. Councilman Johnson.
Thank you so much, and with all due respect, Mr. President, make sure you warn your team of those same things. We don't want to talk about people who held that position before you, so let's not put one thing on one person that we don't do on the other. We must not cast those dispersions. Now, tonight, we'll be voting on Jacksonville's budget, but this is about this amendment that Councilwoman Pittman has put in, and this is not about a Washington culture war, nor is this about a campaign commercial, because that's what it seems to be about tonight. And these last-minute amendments attacking DEI, abortion, and immigration, you know they don't belong here. Our charter, our ordinance code speaks against this. It says that you are not supposed to legislate from the budget. It specifically says that, and that's exactly what we're doing, Mr. President. So the facts are, when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, I don't mind saying those terms because they're not bad words. And if you remember during the Finance Committee meeting, I asked us to either academically or legally define them, and not one person in this chamber spoke up because maybe you aren't qualified or maybe you just couldn't. But at the end of the day, you can't put something in a budget that it is not quantifiable, and you could not do that. However, companies with diverse leadership, this is, again, statistics and data, are 36% more profitable. When you cut those places and spaces of not wanting to include more people that look different and act different and worship different, when you don't include those, you are hurting those companies. And reproductive health, I mean, it's reproductive health as a whole, not just abortion. So when you put a blanket thing like that in there without quantifying specifics, you again cost us more money. And let's not even talk about immigration as we look into people who are bringing things into the community. We don't want to just give somebody something, but at the end of the day, there are billions of dollars that are paid by people who are trying to become legal. But let me tell you, when we talk about this, I've not gotten one single email, and I know all of us colleagues have gotten hundreds of emails, have we not, about this issue? Not one person has come in and said, this is a great job because you're taking this out. Have not gotten one. The gentleman from the beaches put in and said that he's such a Christian and there's that he's against murder and he's pontificating. But I've had religious leaders come and say, thank you for standing against this kind of fascism, because that's what it is that the gentleman from the beaches has put in these amendments. We are not here just to stick things in. We are here to have a budget that our people can be proud of, and we cannot when we are doing this. So we're not going to govern this city, not on my watch with Washington culture wars. I am supporting Councilwoman Pittman's amendment, and I will tell you that I will be voting no on the budget if this amendment does not pass, because we, as Councilman Peluso said earlier, cannot allow this divisive language to go into our communities. It is a cancer, and tonight we will cut it out. Colleagues, join me in supporting this amendment so that we can move forward and show Washington that we really know how to do business in Jacksonville and not play the games that we're hearing from our colleague. Thank you.